Give it up for Tenacious Vee. And our signer, the Ticking Time Blonde.
We won't hurt you. Not yet. Show me someone who has done something worthwhile, and I'll show you someone who has overcome adversity. Lou Holtz. My story begins a broken girl, escaping from a very abusive relationship, both physically and emotionally, in hopes that I could start over again and maybe learn to trust. It was a very dark time in my life, made better only by the hopes of moving somewhere new, to a new time and place. But that's a story for a different slam. I had decided to move to Charlotte, North Carolina from Rosebud, Arkansas. And the only reason I moved to Charlotte was because someone told me it was a really cool place for young people to go. So I thought, that's perfect. Exactly what I need to start all over again. I took a job in Charlotte, North Carolina. And soon after, my father also accepted a job in Charlotte. At first, I wasn't too happy about it because, I'm trying to start over and I'm trying to make everything new again. But then my dad said to me, how about you don't work all summer, go out, party, have a good time, just enjoy your summer off, and when you move to Charlotte, you can live with me in the company condo. Then you can save up your money and decide where you're gonna live. Okay. I could not work all summer and just party, that sounds great. So that's exactly what I did. I went out dancing, I went out and listened to bands. I even got to meet and play with some former Arkansas Razorback champions on the basketball team. Eventually, I then ended up in the hospital, bleeding internally from a cyst that ruptured. It was a very scary time, and actually days I don't remember. My parents were pretty scared. My mom was there with me, my friends were there with me. I was hooked up to all kinds of machines, and nobody really knew the outcome at the time. I don't remember anything because I was just a blob laying in a bed, but when I finally came around and I started to get better, I had missed my intended move to Charlotte. So I'd missed a couple days of training. After I came to and realized it was time to move, my mom stayed there and she helped me pack my car, and I packed my car with everything that was important to me. All my clothes, all my documents, all my music, everything that I needed to move to Charlotte and start all over again. So I trekked on my way to Charlotte. And in the car, on the way, my father called my mother. And he said, at the very time that you were driving there, I had just been greeted at my office door by North Carolina officials who had told me I was to cease business immediately, and the CEO of the company was doing criminal fraudulent activity. $750,000 was missing, and my dad was now a key witness for the FBI. Oh yeah, by the way, that company condo I was supposed to live in, all that money I didn't save, it was no longer. So we pull into Charlotte hours later. I have no place to live. My parents don't know what they're doing, and they had tickets that night a couple hours away to a show. So they said, we're gonna go. We're gonna go to this show. We're gonna have a good time. You guys go up to the hotel. My younger brother was there also. You guys go up to the hotel. You guys have a good time. Wake up in the morning. Go to your teacher training. And when you come back, we'll figure it all out. So I went up to my hotel wearing a dress, and I still own that dress, and a purse. And I got a great night's sleep and woke up the next morning and went down to my car. Every window in my car was smashed in besides the front windshield. And everything was gone. All my clothes, all my important documents, all my photos, all my music, the pennies in the tray, everything was gone. And after crying and calling the cops, I brushed the glass to the side, and I got in my car, and I drove to that teacher training that I was already late for. People looking at me when I stopped at the stoplights, because I was sobbing the whole way there. And when I got there, oddly enough, the first class was about school tragedies. So the instructor said, who here has been in a fire at your school? I stand up, I'm the only one, and I tell her. I sit back down. Who here has been through a tornado or a hurricane at your school? The only one again. I stand up and I tell her what had happened in our sleepy little town that put us out of school for almost a month and families were devastated. As I started to sit down, the instructor jokingly says to me, "What else has happened to you?" So I tell everybody in that room about the abuse, about no home, about nowhere to live, everything that had happened in the hospital. But at this point, when things go wrong, sometimes you can just laugh about it. And I laughed and I told my story and I sat down. And when I sat down, that's when the first amazing thing happened. This woman who was sitting across from me slid this piece of paper across the table. And on that piece of paper was an address and a phone number and a map and the name Maria Zancanero. And she looked at me and she said, "Come to my house for dinner tonight." I went back to the hotel to my parents who were crying and devastated. What are we going to do? We have to find everything. And I was like, yeah, we're not going to find anything. And I said, well, I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to go to dinner with a bunch of strangers that I've never met because it can't get much worse than this. And I went to dinner. And their 16-year-old son slept on the couch so that I could have his bedroom. I lived with that family. They cooked for me every night. They took me shopping. They showed me around the city. They did all of this for no other reason but to be kind. And that moment, coupled with the tenacity that I had in me, set forth a motion that allowed me to continue. And other people were kind to me, and I learned how to trust, and I learned how to love, and I learned how to believe that there was goodness in the world again. And all of those things led me here. People said to me, why don't you just go home? Why would you stay somewhere where you own nothing, you know no one, you have nothing? But my dad always said to me, when something bad happens, you have three choices. You can let it define you, you can let it destroy you, or you can let it strengthen you. And that's what I did. And because of that, I'm here now. I'm here in this room with you guys. I'm a friend. I'm a teacher. I'm a musician. I'm a singer. I'm a wife to the kindest man I've ever met in my life. I'm a derby girl with women who inspire and encourage me every single day to be better and better. All of that because someone slid that piece of paper across the table and they showed me kindness. Because even when you fall forward, even when you fall on your face, you are still moving forward. Kindness is free. Sprinkle that shit everywhere.